Well. Round of 16, first legs are complete. And guys, I'm trying to fathom how PSG have managed to lose this game. Now I'm going to go through every single game, not too much detail, but I will make a video later on Liverpool's specific game because I think that game probably had the most storylines and the most to talk about. So I'll make a video specifically for that game. But PSG 0, Liverpool 1. Now going into this game, I mentioned that the game is going to be won in the midfield and in the defense. I think both attacks are very comparable, right? Obviously, Gakpo was out, but with the likes of Diaz, Jota, Nunez, Salah, those guys are comparable to what they have in Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, Desiree Dua off the bench, maybe Gonzalo Ramos. It's very comparable, but it's going to be won and lost in that midfield. I think we have the advantage physically in the midfield, where they probably have the advantage technically in the midfield, PSG that is. But the defense is Liverpool has a better defense than PSG has, and a better goalkeeper than PSG has. And that proved to be the result today. The defense and the goalkeeper. Alisson Becker, I've been saying it for many, many years, is the best goalkeeper in the world, bar none. He's just that good. The saves he was making, the parries he was making, the claims. He is just an exceptional goalkeeper in every sense of the word. PSG started the game. Obviously, it started the game with Dembele down the middle, Kvaratskhelia down the right, Barcola down the left. And I didn't like that. Well, I liked it as a Liverpool fan, but as a neutral, you probably want to see Kvaratskhelia down the middle or hanging towards the left and Dembele down the right because he's two-footed. He can trouble Robertson. You have a little bit more luck down that side. And when he moved down that side, they completely dominated the game. Every single time they got the ball, it was shot. It was forced at Alisson's save. It was a corner. It was always a positive movement with Dembele and Kvaratskhelia especially. Those two players, right foot, left foot, I don't think any club in world football has two players genuinely two-footed that can go right, left. And then we see it with Kvaratskhelia, disallowed goal. I held my breath because it was offside by probably this much. Just his heel was offside. Before that, I thought Konate should have got sent off. I'm very fortunate as a Liverpool fan. I'm very happy that he didn't get sent off, but he probably should have got sent off, and that would have changed the entire game. Actually, would it have? Because it was the same story from start to finish for PSG. Completely dominating possession, chance after chance after chance, save after save after save. If we got that red card, it probably still would have been the same thing. Every single outfield Liverpool player outside of the defense and McAllister was terrible. Salah, terrible. Jota, terrible. Diaz, terrible. Szoboszlai, terrible. Gravenberch, terrible. It was only McAllister in that midfield to attack that had anything positive going for him the entire game. Trent, that's you? I have not seen Trent defend like that since 18-19 against 18-19. That might be the only time I've seen Trent defend to that level, and this was an incredible performance. This is the kind of thing where I see the Real Madrid links, and I say Trent is leaving with something this season. He wants to leave with something this season. I might leave in the summer, but I'm leaving with something. And that was a performance of a player that is desperate to win something before he leaves. And hey, if he's going to leave on a high note. Incredible performance. Konate, red card aside, great. Van Dijk. Robertson, I thought he was finished. He probably still is. But that's an incredible performance against Dembele, against Kvaratskhelia, against Hakimi. Three of them taking turns just running down his wing. And he was holding his own. And Alisson, of course, incredible. Liverpool did not have a single chance until the 85th. Was it 85th minute we scored that goal? Somewhere around there. Long ball, Alisson, just a hopeful long ball. And Nunez. All the things I've said about Nunez, about us needing a new forward, I maintain those statements, but bodying Marquinhos, winning your 50-50, having the presence of mind to slot that ball, perfect weighted pass to Harvey Elliott. And hey, there was only one place he was going. He opened his body up for that far post, and Donnarumma. Should he have saved it? When you see Alisson perform the way he did, you're probably saying Donnarumma should have saved it, but like I said before, he's not Alisson. So Liverpool go into the second leg at Anfield, up 1-0. I'm trying to gather my breath right now, guys. That's an incredible performance. Now, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. This was probably the marquee game of the entire round of 16. And the first 10, 15 minutes was all Rodrigo and Valverde bullying Javi Galán. The first pass Valverde makes in behind, Rodrigo runs. And the crazy thing is, the moment he touched the ball with his right foot to cut to his left, the entire Bernabeu went crazy. It's like they already saw the goal. And the hair on my arms literally rose up. It was like, this is already a goal. Smacks it, far corner, goal. And from that point, it wasn't really too much going on for Madrid. It was, they were dominating the game in terms of chances, but it was Atletico Madrid that were holding possession, putting together some passes. And it wasn't until later in the first half you see Julian Alvarez one-on-one against Camavinga, who had a terrible game, by the way. One-on-one against Camavinga, cuts inside and just bends an absolute curler. No keeper in the world, except for Alisson maybe, is saving that. Like, that's just an incredible strike. And obviously, Madrid take the lead again. Brahim Diaz. It was a great combination on that left wing between Vinicius Jr., Ferland Mendy, and Brahim Diaz. And he just kind of quick feet. He has such quick feet. He reminds me kind of like a new age Isco for them. Right? And he's not going to start every game, but he's going to come on. He's going to make an impact, pick a pass, score a goal. He just slots it into that far corner. And then I'm thinking this is going to be more of the same. Another draw between these two teams. Atletico Madrid will attack. They'll find a way to get through this porous Madrid defense. And it just didn't happen. Like, they literally did not have anything going for them. And then Simeone takes off Griezmann, he takes off the entire midfield and brings on Sorloth and Correa, and they basically don't do anything. It's just Madrid continue to attack and try for that third goal, which I think they needed that third goal. I think going away to Atletico Madrid with only a 2-1 lead, anything could happen, right? I think Mbappe was terrible. I think you're going to have Bellingham back, so it's going to be a stronger Madrid lineup. But anything can happen in a derby round of 16 game. Now, Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen. Now, a lot has been made of Alonso and his record against Bayern Munich, not losing, always finding a way to draw or beat them. And I went into this game thinking, I don't trust Kompany. I trust Alonso. I don't trust, Harry Kane. Well, there's not really anybody I can trust on the Bayern Leverkusen side either. But it's a tough one to call. But the way Bayern played today, it was like reminding the world that, hey, when it comes to the Bundesliga, it's Bayern and everybody else. Don't let the last season and a half fool you guys into thinking that Leverkusen have what it takes to match up with us. They don't. And this game proved it. Olise, right foot, beautiful cross, Harry Kane. Just bully I love when strikers just bully their defenders. I don't like all these cute little, I want to be intricate. Sometimes you gotta bully your defender. Show them that you're the bigger man. And he did that. The entire game was Harry Kane tussling and fighting and grappling and bullying and just dominating. That's what I want to see from Harry Kane every single game. You have the physical presence. You have the intellect. Bully every single defender you come up against. They don't have what it takes to deal with you. And this game was literally Bayern Munich showing the world that, hey, Leverkusen, they're cute. They got a little Wirtz, Xhaka, Grimaldo. They got some nice players, but They don't have what we have. They don't have Musiala. They don't have Kane. They don't have Elise. They don't have Kingsley Coman. They don't have what we have. And the second goal, what is Kovar doing? Catch the ball. Just catch it. Some of these keepers, they're so worried about, is the footwork good? Can he play between the lines? How about, can you catch the ball? Can you make a save? Drops it, Musiala toe pokes it in. And then they get a red card with Mukiele, who, for many years, I've said this, for the last couple of years, when he's at PSG, now he's at Leverkusen, a lot of these defenders are too worried about being physical and not worried enough about being good defenders. Like, we're trying to fill Excel spreadsheets about who's the fastest, who's the strongest. How about who can defend? Who's smart? Who makes smart decisions? Idiotic tackle on Coman facing his own goal down the touchline. He just cleans him out. Red card, easy second yellow. Get him off the pitch. And then Tapsoba comes on and just grapples Kane when your keeper's already, well, how can you trust your keeper after what he did for the second goal? Your keeper has control of the situation, and you literally just grapple him. Harry Kane, 3-0, red card, it's game over. The tie is over. The tie is over. I don't see how Leverkusen are going to score 4 unanswered goals on Bayern. I just don't see it. Now, we move over to Benfica against Barcelona. Now, Barcelona's high line, I made a video about who I thought would win the La Liga, and I mentioned that their defense is shaky, their high line is shaky. That might be what costs them the league. And again, Vangelis Pavlidis literally runs through that high line, and you just see them struggling to get back. Kubarsi struggling to get... Now, in the moment, it's hard to say what you would do as a defender if you just let him go and you trust that Szczesny might make the save. But how would you trust Szczesny after what you've seen this season? He just sives him down. It's an easy red card. And Barcelona playing the rest of the first half, rest of the game, with 10 men. Benfica could have played for 6 hours and they would not have scored today. This is what I'd say separates these top teams from these pretenders, basically. Contenders from pretenders. There's no player on Benfica that I'm trusting is going to take a chance. Pavlidis was probably the one player, and he was anonymous today. He didn't take any chances he got today. And then I can't remember. I don't remember whose name it was, but maybe the right center back, João something, or was it Antonio Silva? Whoever it was, plays a square ball straight to Rafinha. And one thing I like about Rafinha, shoot on sight policy. Stop with all these, I want to be cute, I want to find the perfect shot, I want to get as close to the goal as possible. Just strike the ball. See what happens. Gets the ball, one touch, bang, corner, goal. Barcelona 1-0. And from there, it was attack after attack after attack from Benfica, and they just couldn't find a way to get a goal. And now going away to Barcelona, trying to find 2 goals after you couldn't even find 1 against 10 men is just astonishingly shocking to me how some of these teams perform in the highest pressure moments. And we don't expect anything from Benfica. We don't expect them to go past Barcelona, but put up a fight, score a goal, do something. And they just couldn't. And we move over to PSV. PSV 1, Arsenal 7. That's not a typo. We've had a day to digest this. Arsenal literally scored 7 goals against PSV. Arsenal that in the preview I said do not have offensive capabilities to beat most teams. They're going to struggle to score goals. PSV said no Saka, no Martinelli, no Jesus, no Havertz. Your best attacking option is a 17-year-old Ethan Nwaneri. Here's some goals, man. Here you go. Here's 1, 2, 3. Here's 7. Just have that. The first goal, I understand. Timber dunks on his defender, and he puts it in. The second goal, Miles Lewis Kelly. You have a reputation now for as a red card merchant. He should have been sent off in that game. But he plays the ball in, Ethan Nwaneri, wham. One thing I love about Ethan Nwaneri, something I said about Rafinha, wham. Right foot, wham. Left foot, wham. You see the goal, wham. Just shoot the ball. Stop waiting for the perfect chance, perfect opening. Just whack the ball. Who knows what will happen? And that's what he did. Now, right before Arsenal scored their third goal, huge chance for Saibari. Should have made it 2-1. And I'm gonna talk about PSV, the way they set up this game. I don't know what he was thinking, putting Saibari as a double pivot with Jordi Schouten. He should have been playing Joey Vermin, benching Gustil, and playing Saibari in the 10, because that guy, he's not a defensive midfielder. He doesn't have defensive instincts. I mean, Vermin isn't really a defensive midfielder, but he can control a game from deep a lot better than Saibari can. So you lost all your control when you basically benched your best controller, and you gave the reins to Saibari and Schouten, and it just didn't work out. And we go to halftime, also come on second half, and just bang, bang. Odegaard, bang. Calafiori, was it Calafiori that played that ball to Odegaard? I can't remember how they scored that goal, but it was two quick fire goals, 47th minute, 48th minute, boom. And then they just blew him out the water. Calafiori running all the way from his midfield into the right wing channel. Odegaard playing him in, and that's game. 7-1. There's literally no chance PSV come back from this. They're done. They are done. Now, moving on, we go to Feyenoord Inter. Now, I have my reservations about Dutch teams when it comes to these big Champions League, big European nights. I just don't trust them. There's a level of naivety, or just the league is not good enough to compete with, Italian teams or Spanish teams or English teams. That's a big part of it. But there's so much naivety in the way they set up against these teams. I looked at that lineup and I saw, obviously, both teams are decimated by injuries. I mean, they are barely putting out enough players on the bench to come into these games. But PSV, I see that they play Igor Paixão kind of as a right striker, second striker, whatever you want to call it. He's playing more on the right side than he's on the left. Now, from all I know about Feyenoord is that Paixão is the best player, and he's on the left, and he cooks on the left. They're playing this is it a teenager, Osman, on loan from Brighton, I believe he is, playing him on the left, and he has some chances, some shots, some half chances, but he's not a producer that Paixão is on the left. Now, I don't care how many injuries you have, you play your best player in his best position. That seriously hurt PSV. He did nothing the entire game. The entire game came from basically Jakob Motor in midfield and Ibrahim Osman on the left. And if those two guys are the ones you're relying on to get something out of a game, you're not getting anything out of the game. Now, on the Inter Milan side, obviously they're missing guys as well. They're playing Acerbi at left center back. They're playing Bastoni at left wing back. But the goal comes from the right. Denzel Dumfries, who had a great game, by the way. Quick pass to, was it Barella? Barella, quick first time ball, and Marcus Thuram smacks it in 1-0. Incredible goal, incredibly worked, incredible technique from both players, Barella and Thuram, and then take the lead. And it was still PSV pushing, but this is why Inter Milan have conceded one goal all Champions League. That defense, they find ways to limit you to low percentage chances. And that's what PSV had all game. Sorry, Feyenoord had all game. Low percentage chances the entire game. They didn't have, I can't remember one single high percentage chance, high XG chance that they had the entire game. And you see Inter Milan just kill them off. I think, I want to say it's probably Bastoni or someone from the left comes in, cuts it to the edge of the box to, what's his name, Zielinski. First time shot, gets blocked, has the presence of mind to settle himself and find Lautaro Martinez in the edge of the 6-yard box, and he just whams it top corner. Now there was a penalty that Inter Milan had later in the second half that Zielinski missed. Now I don't know what's going on with their penalty situation. I heard the commentary say it. I think Çalhanoğlu is the main taker, but sometimes if he's not playing, Lautaro will take it. So I'm wondering why Lautaro didn't take it. But either way, that miss might have kept Feyenoord in with the tiniest of shout. But I think the tie's done. And so far, I predicted Liverpool going through. I predicted Real going through. I predicted Bayern going through. I predicted Barcelona going through. I predicted Arsenal going through. And now Inter with the 2-0 lead. I think they're going through as well. And that leaves us with the final two games. Club Brugge, 3-1 loss to Aston Villa. Now, when they played each other earlier in the Champions League group stage, Brugge was dominant. They dominated the game. And yesterday, they played a great game of football. But what I keep saying with these Champions League games, moments, players, do you have the players that it takes to win these games? I don't think they have that. Talbi is a tidy player on the right. Solis, he had a terrible game. He did. I don't know how he slept last night, knowing that what he put out in that game. But when you can bring on guys like Rashford, Asensio, guys with Champions League pedigree, guys who are game changers that can change a game. Even Rodgers he didn't do anything that game, but he had a hat trick in the Champions League. These are players that can do things that Brugge players cannot do, and that's the ultimate difference. You see that they bring on Asensio, and he just makes a complete difference in the game. Now, Bailey, that finish was incredible by Leon Bailey. By the way, he's one of those players where when he's on it, he's on it. When he's not on it, he's anonymous throughout the game. But the ball drops, edge of the box, first time. Was it not even a half volley, just literally on the bounce. He just whams it into the corner, and they take the lead. And Brugge continued to play. They continued to play. They equalized eventually. And when I mentioned Solis in the beginning, he literally gets a perfect pass from Hans Van Aken in behind, takes a touch on his left, and he just sends it to freaking, I don't know, a city, name a city in Belgium. Any city in Belgium, he sent it there. And literally, maybe a couple minutes later, they go down and Aston Villa score. Right before that was the own goal, the Mekele own goal. But that miss, that could have made it 2-2, and it would have been a great second leg. And Aston Villa go down, and they score 3-1. The tie to me is done, guys. I don't see how Brugge have enough firepower. That's the main thing. They play great football, but they don't have the firepower to trouble Aston Villa in the second leg. I might be wrong. They might go there and score 3 goals, but I just don't see it happening. And we end our roundup with Dortmund, Lille 1-1. Now, this was the toughest one to call in terms of the matchups, because Dortmund are one of those teams where when you watch them in the Bundesliga, you're like, anybody can beat this team on any given day. And somehow in the Champions League, they find ways to get through. They always find ways to get to the final again, getting through the knockout stages. They always find a way. If they're not playing against Bayern, Liverpool, PSG, like one of the biggest dogs, they can beat anybody else. And that's what they did. That's what I expected them to do against Lille. And they scored the first goal. Adeyemi, ball comes out from a corner, half volley, bang. I just love wham, wham, wham. Shoot the ball. I love players who shoot the ball. He shoots on the half volley, kisses it off the post. Great goal. And from that point on, it's like Dortmund stopped playing. Like, oh, we have the lead. Let's take a 1-0 lead to France, and we'll just figure it out. No, keep going. They didn't keep going. Lille built their way back up into the game. Jonathan David gets the ball probably 30, 35 yards from goal. Wonderful slip-through ball to Hakan Haraldsson. I think that's how I pronounce his name. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but slips it to him. He's stretching, basically just toe pokes it into the corner. 1-1, and that's how the game ends. For the life of me, I can't understand why Dortmund took their foot off the gas, because I thought they could have taken advantage of that game. 1-0 up, try to get 2, try to get 3. We saw what Lille did against PSG. Now, obviously, it's PSG. They bully everybody in that league. But a team that just lost 4-1 in the weekend, put pressure on them. Make them feel insecure. Keep going. Keep attacking them. Who knows? You might get 2. If you get 2, you could get 3. And then the tie is done. I don't see how they're going to give you 4, at their home stadium. But they took the foot off the gas pedal. They stopped playing football. And for me, it was Adeyemi was the only player trying to do anything in that game. There was no control. There was no attacking fluency. They just stopped playing. They were comfortable with the 1-0 result. And I think it's going to cost them. I think genuinely Lille are now the favorite to go through in this tie. Now, that would probably mean, out of all the 8 games I predicted 7 of the teams I predicted are leading right now. Liverpool's leading 1-0. Real Madrid's leading 2-1. Barcelona's really leading 1-0. Bayern's leading 3-0. Arsenal's leading 7-1. Inter's leading 2-0. Aston Villa's leading 3-1. And Dortmund is tying 1-1. So, guys, it's going to be an interesting second leg next week. Now, I think we can confidently say that Bayern and Arsenal are through. I think even Inter, we can confidently say they're all through. Probably even Villa are through, but definitely Bayern and Arsenal they're good. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Liverpool, what happens with Real Madrid, what happens with obviously Dortmund, Barcelona. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the other 6 games. But I mean, the Arsenal game, that I don't think I've ever seen Arsenal score 7 goals in Europe. Talk less of in the Champions League and away from home. Like, that's an historic moment for them. But guys, I can't wait for next week. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see what the storylines are going to be. I'm going to make a video specifically for Liverpool's game because as a Liverpool fan, I need to go in depth about what happened today. But guys, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave a comment on any game and any thoughts you have in any game. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. See how you feel about these matchups. And I will see you guys next week. Woo! Liverpool! Liverpool!